Okay, now I'm going to be painting the water. And this is a mix of our mud, which is ultramarine blue plus alizarin crimson. And I've added a little more ultramarine blue to that and lots of white. And so the water's dark back near the horizon. It's kind of the opposite of landscape. Landscape gets lighter as it goes back, but dark usually on the ocean at that far horizon on a bright sunny day, a little bit darker. So then I come forward, painting forward. I paint the sky and then from the background forward, start adding some just pure ultramarine blue plus white. I work around my little rocky point out there. Kind of go back and smooth that transition just a little. Now as the water, and these tones, these blues are really muted, so they'll go back. Now as I start coming forward, I start adding a little phthalo blue. Ooh, that's too dark. Little phthalo blue plus ultramarine blue. And that makes the water a little bit brighter. The phthalo blue has a little yellow in it, so that tends to come forward. So that's going to make our water come forward. I have to work around my wine bottle. Start painting forward with that phthalo blue. And bring the water comes in behind this pillar. So that helps give the piece a feeling of depth. That water zooming in behind there. Now I'm going to kind of work around these rocks. So we're going to make some waves down there, but we'll do that in a minute. I also want to work around the backs of my chairs. Now I'm starting to add a little orange into the mixture, phthalo blue plus a tiny bit of orange. And that makes the water even greener, which makes it come forward. And this ocean water, it's a lots of waves today, so the water's real choppy, so I can paint the water pretty choppy. Work around that. Get my maul stick here. This allows me to keep my hand a little bit steadier as I work around these objects. And by using the maul stick, it takes the strain off of your shoulder. If you try to do that very long without having your hand supported, it really puts a strain on your shoulder. And if you paint a lot of hours, that starts to take a toll on your rotator cuff. So you're going to paint a lot. You need to protect your shoulder. That's your tools. It's your painting equipment. Okay. Now here where the water is real shallow, it becomes a little bit lighter and greener because the sand underneath is kind of a creamy color. So that creamy color and the blue, the yellow and blue makes the water even more green. I'm going to get a smaller brush. You'll see I do a lot of wiping the brush, and a clean brush keeps clean color on your canvas. You want your colors to be bright and crisp. You need a clean brush. So we're working kind of around things. I'm going to pull those chairs into the wet water in a minute, but let's get this done first. Work around my wine glasses. A lot of people would just paint that water and paint the other stuff back over it, but I find if I keep my sketch, I seem to do better. So we'll We'll put a little variation of color in here, just again, to give that water a feeling of movement. A little more white in this. What you hear in the background is Sissy, our cat. She's running around and playing. She's been outside in the catnip and now she's full of herself. So she's having a good time. Okay, that got that chair. Let's work around this one. Need to come in with a little lighter. I can kind of paint over some of this. I know where those lines are going to go, but I want to keep my heart design, those little scrolls and stuff, since those are kind of intricate. It's nice to have those to go by when I start painting the chairs, so we'll work around that. Yeah, leave a little bit. Gotta keep my water continuity too, so you kind of have to see how things go as you paint. Work the things you need to around. Now where the water hits the rocks, we're going to have a few little waves. Look here. And I pull them from below. I pull the brush strokes up. Give the feeling of that water shooting up into the air. And in this area, this is Carmel. And boy, those waves come just rolling in and crashing. So we want some crashing waves in here, hitting against the rocks. And I'll put the rocks in just a second. I'm going to put my little beach in down here just a little bit. That little light down here at the base is going to just pull your eye and make you want to walk down to that beach. And I paint some of that creamy color over my water, because that just helps give that feel of that creamy sand underneath the water. We'll bring some surf in here. And I'll have more as I add the rocks, but this kind of just gives us a little bit there. Okay, so that water is blocked in. We'll go back and make a few adjustments here and there, but that's basically, we've got that all in. But you can see how the cool color goes back of the muted ultramarine blue plus mud. That goes back. As I come forward, I've added more phthalo blue, and then in the front, more phthalo blue plus orange plus white. That makes the color warmer, and so the water comes forward. You get that feeling of depth, and it makes that water go back.